East Coast know I'm rockin' with y'all. West Coast know I'm rockin' with y'all. North side know I'm rockin' with y'all. South side know I'm rockin' with y'all. I'm still riding with my day cause I'm rockin' with y'all. Whole county, throw your hands.
What up, everybody? It's the Love1st podcast. It's your boy, Kater Don.
And it's your boy, Wraith in the building.
Yeah, back
Yes,
at it,
sir.
back at it. Yay. We
Yes,
have
sir.
some interesting topics for you guys today. First
Right.
of all, don't think that we forgot, because I know they've been asking what happened to the power keys. They only had a few keys and they need the rest of the keys to success.
They thirsty for more. They
So
thirsty for more.
for
We
real.
got
So
him.
we got you. The power keys. This is different strategies. We're gonna dive into different strategies today. Before we get there, we actually have some other topics we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Jake Paul back in the ring against another UFC fighter. We're gonna talk about Black Lives Matter. One of the leaders quits. Wraith will tell you why. We
Yo,
also have
crazy. I got two on the Black Lives Matter, man.
Oh,
It's
he
crazy.
got two. He got two. And the only thing crazier than that is also the microchips. They're coming out. They're taking over. It's been prophesized. And now it's happening in real time. So we're going to talk about
I'm
that.
about to pay.
Yo, facts.
That's
Facts.
it.
And, I ain't doing it. Which one you want to kick it off with first, man? Where should we start, Ray? Where do we start?
I guess we can start with the Black Lives Matter. I guess I'll touch on the Black Lives Matter and then you can touch on the topic. But yeah, like some interesting news had just coming out about the Black Lives Matter leader, the one that was the founder for the chapter in Minnesota. So he had came out and said that he quit after learning the ugly truth about the activist group's priorities.
In 2015, I was a founder of Black Lives Matter in St. Paul. I believed the organization stood for exactly what the name implies. Black lives do matter. However, after a year on the inside, I learned they had little concern for rebuilding Black families, and they cared even less about improving the quality of education for students in Minneapolis. That was made clear when they publicly denounced charter schools alongside the teachers union. I was an insider in Black Lives Matter, and I learned the ugly truth. The moratorium on charter schools does not support rebuilding the Black family, but it does create barriers to a better education for Black children. I resigned from Black Lives Matter after a year and a half, but I didn't quit working to improve Black lives and access to a great education.
And I can agree with that because I have stated that Black Lives Matters, especially these marches that go on, you know, you're perpetuating a lot of victimness, a lot of, you know, you're telling kids that they can't reach a certain level because of their skin color. And if you tell them that at a young age and keep drilling that within their mindset all the way to an adult, you know, they're constantly going to keep blaming this for their lack of intellect, you know? And he also has stated that when I was 2 years old, my father was shot and killed. My mother wasn't able to take care of me. So I was raised by my grandparents, detailing how he went on to become the first person in his family to get a degree, going on to get a master's degree in education. And he also stated that I am living proof that no matter where you start in life, you know, quality education is a pathway to success. So he didn't allow his situation to be a hindrance on him striving to get somewhere greater in life. And I think that's the mindset that he was going with when he had decided to take this job, you know, for Black Lives Matter. But it didn't work out how he wanted to because he's seen that they weren't focusing their resources and the revenue that they were getting from all these foundations to put opportunity zones for Black kids, and not to give Black kids an excuse, and not to say that your skin color is an excuse for you not having better intellect or being able to, you know, carry conversations and, you know, get an education, not to have these excuses. So, he stepped down because he realized the truth about it. And I've talked about this on the podcast, that, I like the name, Black Lives Matter. I just don't like the message. You're not talking about the totality of the matter, which is, yes, there's police brutality, but there's also, brutality within each other. It's how we treat each other. During the times of segregation, Black people were married at an alarming rate. Black families were a thing back in the day, and that's during segregation. That's when you couldn't even go to the same bathroom. You had to sit at a certain part of the bus, like you were treated differently. Those laws don't exist. And we have more freedom than ever. So why is it that we have more freedom than ever? We're deciding to play the victim card.
So yeah, and my thing, what I've always said, and I have dived into their website, but even then, I personally still have to do a lot more research on the subject. Like even with this topic, you told me about it right before we got on. But what I've always stood on was that I never felt like the Black Lives Matter movement, the message was completely clear. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like my thing is like it's cool to march because I always wondered like why are these people marching and protesting? Like we need a goal. Like we need to march and protest.
And we talked about it.
You know what I'm saying? And if we have a so-called enemy, we shouldn't be marching so the so-called enemy can make a goal. Like, you know what I mean? We need to be standing on this. And then it lets everyone know what's being accomplished, right? It lets us know instead of just maybe just donating to the cause and every single thing. And like I said, it does require research. But knowing, hey, this is the march for this. This is the march for that. This is the march so we can get this and that. And then we can really see how effective we are. But having a clear and concise matter, like even when Dr. Martin Luther King was doing his marches, he was marching to end segregation. He was saying, hey, these are ways that we can end it. We need to be able to go to the same schools. We need to be able to do this. So when I just say, and like, to your point, when you're talking about the victim mentality, like we can't just say things need to change and then march. No, we need specific goalposts that like, hey, this is what happened. That way we can look back at it months or a year later and be like, hey, did this happen? Oh, this group is super effective, But my biggest thing to
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my last point on this was just my biggest thing more than everything is like I didn't like the fact that the people were connecting the Black Lives Matter the words Black Lives Matter to just the movement. That's why I say Black Lives Matter movement and don't just say Black Lives Matter, because you can't let a movement also only stand for what the words mean when we say Black Lives Matter, because we're just saying these lives matter too. Like they've been going through a lot, they've been targeted a lot, there's statistics to prove it. So we're just saying that they matter too. So when you get mad at the movement, now it's like everybody can shut down the words Black Lives Matter. Oh, see, told you Black Lives doesn't matter. No, I'm not with that. Black lives still matter. We have to separate movement from words and definitions of what they mean,
Absolutely. Yeah, because I do think that Black Lives Matter, but they have to matter to the Black people first. They have to matter to Black people first. We have, and same energy that we put into trying to defund the police and the same mirror or magnifying glass that we put on that aspect, there has to be a magnifying glass on how we treat each other and the stuff that we consume. Because that's one of the main reasons. The stuff that we consume, that Black people consume, is toxic. It's not for the betterment. It's not for evolution. It's to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? So a magnifying glass has to be put on that matter too. And I just found this article interesting because I've been saying this. What are you guys marching for? What are you guys marching for? All that money that's being funded I haven't heard of one opportunity zone for Black kids or any kid that lives in a poverty-stricken area. You know,
and if it's there, I just think that message needs to be pushed more. You know, what was accomplished, not just that. Hey, businesses are saying Black Lives Matter. It's cool to say, you know, but you know, what are the actions? But the biggest thing I love what you just said was we have to learn like to care for each other and realize our lives matter first, right?
Yeah.
Because statistics will show. Let's even bring it to sports and entertainment. If you have a Spanish star, whether it be sports, music, or white star sports music, and you can see it in hip hop, you can see it in boxing, basketball, this and that, their people will rally behind them like crazy.
Yeah.
Eminem gets so much support. And it's like, but the same thing doesn't happen with necessarily Black people in general. When there's a Black boxer, it takes everything in the world, and it's super limited for them to get that support. When you have a Mexican boxer, Puerto Rican, the whole country, they got the
whole world behind.
You know what I'm saying?
World behind them. But when it comes to somebody that's same skin color as me and you, it takes a little bit more. And I don't understand that, because a black person will go spend $2,000 on a Louis Vuitton bag, but won't spend $5 on your CD.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? $5 just to go, maybe $9.99 just to go on iTunes and download the music. You know what I'm saying? That's right there. But spend all this on the bag for people that don't care about you, may not necessarily even like
share a
you.
Link. Yeah, you can share a link with somebody free. Tell them, yo, can you go watch this video? Show some support, show some love. They'll ignore that link, but they'll go to Louis Vuitton or whatever. That was manufactured by a white person. And blow a bag.
Right. Like, I know certain times when, you know, I've been around my people on the come up, you know, other Black business people that want to come up, and I let them know my business ideas. This is what I want to do. And I was like, look, I want to build with you first, help you get what you want to do. But, you know, eventually this is my dream. And then a lot of defensiveness comes, and they get worried like, oh my gosh, there's only limited Black CEOs that can exist out here, so I can't even work with them. And that mentality has got to stop.
Crabs in a barrel.
You know what I'm saying? It's real. You know,
crabs in a barrel.
And it all goes back to Black Wall Street. I'm telling you. They're trying to, why hold each other back? And the thing is, they don't realize, like you said, crabs in a barrel. If you actually let the other person come up, there's probably some rope on the other side that they could toss in and get everybody out the barrel. You know what I'm saying? But they don't see the rope. They're just like, nah, bring them down.
Yep, absolutely. That was a great point, because, you know, we are notorious for that. We are notorious for holding information against each other.
Yeah. Notorious.
Like, and we need to stop that, you know?
We do.
Because then what happens is, you know, a Black person will know about all the information and won't give it to everybody else to educate them. To educate. You know what I'm saying? To have a different opinion. Everybody walking around with the saying, defund the police, Everybody, every Black person I talk to is like, yeah, the police need to get defunded.
Yeah. We're gonna make people mad right here, but let's get real, man. This podcast is about getting real. It's even in a lot, and I'm not saying everybody, but too many. It's a lot of Black people that would prefer to work for a white person than to work for a Black person. Like, let's face the
They'll go
facts.
work for the white person. They'll go work for the white person and then get paid to talk crap about you.
What you talking about? That's facts. On all levels. Levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
bro.
It's bananas, yo.
Yeah, no, but what you said was real. Like, what you said was real. Instead of employing your own people, if you're in a position to employ your own people, do it. Throw them the ropes, teach them.
Yes, Yes, and employ, you know what I'm saying? Help build, man. We have to build each other. Black people are the only people that I see like out there, and more so American Black people that don't own their communities. Like, yo, it's
we
unheard
don't
of
have
in
a
all these
corner
other
store in sight.
cultures.
We don't have a
It's
corner
so
store in
unheard.
sight. You could be living in the hood within a 10-mile radius.
Yeah.
Is like 50 corner stores. Now,
Mhm.
one Black person owns a corner store, man. Like, hey, bro, like, you know, and then y'all keep talking about how there's no opportunities in the hood, this, that, and the third. You need to make opportunity, bro.
Yeah.
Start with where you live. The corner stores, like, start
Mhm.
taking over those one by one.
Yep.
Start generating money for that neighborhood.
Own that.
Like,
and
you
then
have
get
to
your
want.
Yes. Yes. You gotta want it and help others. Stop being afraid. If you're not in a position to do it right now, stop holding something that you may never use, and at least share information with other people that may be in that position or could get to that position, because either way, you want people in your community owning things in the community. They're gonna automatically care and give back more. Let's say they don't care a lot and give back a lot. Guess what? They're gonna give back more than someone that never grew up in that community. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
we're getting too real on this
For
podcast.
real.
We're gonna go to the next subject. Oh,
They're gonna
man.
think this is an attack.
Yo, for
This is
real.
an attack, my nigga.
For real. Man, speaking of attacks, man, attacks of the microchips, man. This is a short segment on the microchips.
Introducing Amazon One, a free service that lets you use your palm to quickly pay for things, gain access, earn rewards, and more.
Welcome to Sweden, where thousands of people are inserting tiny microchips under their skin so that they no longer have to carry cash, IDs, gym passes, and key cards to get into work.
These tiny chips are about the size of a grain of rice, and they're implanted into the back of the hand with a syringe. And so far, about 3,000 Swedes have gotten them implemented.
So in Sweden, you can actually use it to put your train tickets inside. You can actually use it with Scandinavia's biggest gym chain, so you don't actually need to show your membership card. I use it personally as a business card, so you can actually put your phone on my hand and then my LinkedIn pops up.
The number one reason for getting an implant is simply convenience. It allows you to eliminate some of the clutter in your life. Implants can also be used for making payments. For example, here at Epicenter in Stockholm, we use our implants in different vending machines, buying snacks and candy and juices whenever we feel like it.
Microchips may sound too futuristic for you, but Sweden is expected to be the world's first cashless economy by March of 2023. But now, microchips could be used for more than just convenience. They have the potential to change healthcare and the way governments are handling the coronavirus crisis.
I am convinced that smart implants will provide a marvelous value to people who suffer from different health conditions and need to be able to log their vital parameters on a regular basis.
But how safe is your data in a body chip?
So I'm not particularly concerned about the hacking dimension of implants, because ultimately the processing of data doesn't happen in the implant. It's simply a sensor platform. All the processing happens in the smartphone. That's where the data is analyzed and where it's packaged and presented.
Cybertech experts still cite potential issues with data handling. If data isn't secure, others can access your info. And once it's out there, it's hard to get back. And in some cases, users could even be giving their data away without even realizing it in the terms and conditions that they sign on their smartphones. But with the way technology is headed, we could see a future where microchip implanting becomes the norm.
The question is, could this Black Mirror type of technology be implemented in other countries?
Han's ultimate vision is to take health microchips to developing countries where healthcare systems are less developed, so that people in remote areas with limited access to hospital facilities could just send their health information to doctors around the world to receive diagnosis.
So, as you can see, the chips, right? If you're spiritual at all, it's definitely talked about in the Bible. It's talked about in other religions. And it just seems to be coming to fruition And even in America, it's showing you there's a company in Wyoming that's pushing these chips into their employees, into their hands, saying for convenience. Sweden, they're pushing it in companies, but they're pushing it to the people in general. And the COVID experience or the pandemic, right, it's kind of boosted up that factor, you know, basically because they're saying, oh, you know, this is dirty, things could be contagious, this and that, you know, so whatever the case is. And then you even have Elon Musk talking about the Neuralink in your brain. This will help you think better, it'll move faster. I said that as a little kid, right? As a little kid, when I learned about it, so mind you, that, you know, this is all happening now, right? So we don't be like, hey, oh, everyone's always talking about the end is coming. I'm like, yo, take that as a sign that these things are happening now. You know, Joe Biden signed an executive order for the companies, you know, for the chip making companies. And he was like, hey, this is the thing that Republicans and Democrats can agree on. So let's put that out there. But what I've always said as a kid, right? People will read, you know, even from reading the Bible in church. And for some reason, it's just like, as a kid, it's like, I knew this. I was like, yo, everyone is like, oh, you know, we're seeing the chip in the Bible, this and that. I ain't doing no chip, da-da-da. I'm like, yo, you think it's going to be that easy? First of all, it says it's going to get to a point where you can't purchase nothing without it. But let's get before then, because you're going to have volunteers running. I was like, if they tell you got free internet in your head, they running. They tell you it's going to be smarter. And then they got this in your brain, and now you got super thinkers, and now you look weird because you can't figure out a problem that fast, which you can spiritually. We just don't use our brain correctly. But, you know, if these narratives are being pushed, you're going to have people lining up just for the Wi-Fi alone. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have people lining up for all these different things and convenience factors and this and that. And it's crazy. And we live in a world of hackers, too, which is crazy, too. Now you got people hacking your body.
People are gonna line up off curiosity because they're gonna be so curious. Like you telling me I could think faster? Like I've had a problem with this for such a long time, not knowing if you just apply yourself and do the work that you don't even need a neural link to be able to think faster. Everybody want to be like Jimmy Neutron. Like no,
that's just laboratory, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like. Yeah, and as far as the microchip, it's just like, you know, with like technology is moving at such a like alarming rate. But I just feel like, and I like it. I like the fact that technology is moving at an alarming rate. But the microchips is like, it's like I don't want to get something injected. That's kind of dangerous. I don't know about that. I'm not even getting. I'm sorry, I ain't getting the vaccine. You gonna have to catch me. You gonna have to, I'm not getting no vaccine, bro. It's over. So like, you gonna have to catch me, bro. But I think like this chip, you know, people are definitely gonna line up to get this chip. You know,
facts. And for those that don't know, your government controls the entertainment industry, right? So all they have to do is give some money to your favorite artist. And once they start pushing it, people live off these artists' lyrics. Like it's bananas. Like people live off the Baby lyrics, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Lil Uzi. They don't even live off their own lyrics. But y'all are doing it. They get in the bag and like, nah, we're not gonna do what we say because that we wouldn't be in this position if we did.
It's a persona. It's a persona that they're projecting, but that doesn't mean that they're doing everything that they say in their lyrics. But people be so heavily invested in it, and the government sees that. The government sees that the masses are so heavily invested into these lyrics and into these people that, hey, like, yo, we should get them to do this. Maybe if they'll do this, everybody's gonna follow. You know, so you just gotta understand that you gotta stop being a follower. You know, you gotta start doing your own research. Stop being a follower. You know, stop doing these things. Start having like an ownership mentality because they're able to control the masses so good because of how everybody think.
And you have to be an independent thinker. Man, I want to say that was our episode 38, but make sure you actually go back into the podcast playlist. Look at the Love1st podcast. Go to that playlist and look up what we're saying, especially independent thinking. Like, there's so much going on, and we're just giving you a perspective. You don't have to agree with us, but the thing that we push that your other news platforms don't and most podcasts don't is think for yourself. Do some research on it. You know what I'm saying? Because people are just following, and then they implement it little by little so you don't realize. But I mean, obviously in the phones, you know, has a chip. Your credit card, your bank cards have
the government.
Chip. You know what I mean? So the chips is there. Now it's getting to like the cyborg era. What were you about to say?
Also, another thing too. The government, they do a very good job of pushing your attention away from something and making you forget about something completely. And not even realizing that at a point that was a thing and that was so detrimental. People forget about people's attention spans nowadays is like after 5-6 months they forget about something. The government is so good at pushing an agenda and putting something in your face to make you forget about the last thing. You gotta get out of that. You have to get out of that. You have to remember what the government is doing. Remember the things that they have done. You know,
I mean, well, they're already changing the history books. I know, right?
I ain't saying too much, man.
Listen, man,
I ain't trying to get chased, bro.
Real. They be coming for his social media platforms. They be coming for rape.
I'm not trying to have SWAT running my crib, nigga.
You gotta keep it real in increments. You know, you can't give them too much real at once. But I mean, and what people are seeing, and I even said this, whether you supported Donald Trump or not, when they started banning him from social media platform, and they're doing this to a president of the United States, you have to stop and think, wow, what will they do to you? Okay, maybe you agree with this decision at the moment, but you need to look at the core and the key. Now I have a bunch of friends, a bunch of people reaching out, oh, they're not thinking the mainstream way, and now they're getting blocked on social media, they're getting suspended. Rafe gone through it, I done went through it, you know what I'm saying?
And you brought up a very valid point. Whether you like him or not, and we talk about this all the time, just because you don't like somebody, don't mean you have to be at this is where I stand. He needs to get blocked. His account needs to, you're taking freedom away from somebody, the president. And instead of you asking yourself, yo, if they could do this to him, imagine what they could do to the masses. Instead of asking yourself that question, you immediately go to, yes, he deserves it. He's a bum.
What they don't realize, they don't realize that they signing up with their pitchfork, giving away their own rights, talking about, let's give it up because it's going to stop this man. Yo, you just gave up your own rights. You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech is under attack like crazy.
They muted the president. I don't care if you like him or not. I don't care if you think he's the most controversial president or not. They muted this guy. They muted him. They made sure permanently. He a permanent ban. He can't get his account back. It's permanent.
It's different.
I don't think people understand that.
You know? And then what I find just super hypocritical is and I see this from Republican and Democratic sides, it's well, they go by what the courts and the law says. So it doesn't work in their favor, then they don't agree with it. So what are we going to use as the foundation? Because one, if this person didn't get convicted of anything, then this shouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But in the same aspect of the whole voting issue last year, you have the court saying, this is correct, this is legal. Or some people taking it, the Supreme Court not even taking the case just because the research of what they've seen so far, they're like, oh, we're not going to address this because this doesn't have enough for us to even take on. You know what I'm saying? So at what point are you going to go by the courts and the laws? You know what I'm saying? But right now, everyone's giving up more of their rights. And pretty soon this will be in the laws because we're giving it away. You know? So be independent thinkers. No matter how much you don't like someone, something, or entity, just remember you could possibly be in that position. And you know, the government. This is the last thing I'm saying on the government, because the one I'm coming for us right now is that we have government. This is what most governments do. They come in with an inch so they could take them off. Nobody ever just comes in and takes them off. Like, you know, like,
you dropping too much info, Mike.
It's too much, man. I have to get spiritual.
Yo,
like,
you got it, yo.
I was at church, yo. They was talking about King David, right? We know the good things King David did. We know the bad, right?
Yeah.
He looked at another man's wife. He started lusting. He didn't just, all right, yo, I like her, yo, kill her husband. No. It started with a little bit of lust, how he came in. Then he had people seeking her, right? Then he slept with her. Then he found out she was pregnant. So then he tried to trick the husband into sleeping with her. Then that old stuff didn't work. So he sent him out to be killed. Like, look at that. It doesn't just jump. But that was the plan all along, right? And the devil's eyes was like, hey, let's give him the murder. But you start off with that inch. So y'all have to think about that, man.
Oh my God. You just dropped the biggest jewel of all time.
Too much truth. Too much truth. They can't cancel the Love1st podcast.
But that's a fact. And that's the government is following that same blueprint. You know, they're doing stuff little by little, and they're sweeping it under the rug. They're so good at making people forget about things. Because they work with these social media platforms, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they're so good at making people forget about things. And this is the new thing. All right, let's hop into this. You know, not understanding, you know, the method behind the madness, like.
So you don't make me, oh man, I don't want to drop too many keys. Let's keep it real. When y'all see Congress interviewing these social media CEOs, they pay your congressman. They're the biggest donator. Like, it's so much fiction happening in front of your eyes. You're like, oh, they're doing a good job. They're checking it. The other side isn't. No, they pay your congressman. These are
you think they ain't slipping them money on the side? Like, yo,
they have hundreds of billions of dollars.
I need you to be on this stance about this. I need you to be on this stance. I need you to go against Trump. Hey, I'm gonna slip you some money on the side. Like,
and if you think your senators and Congress people and all of these people are doing it out of love, why do you think they're not doing it for free? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, enough truth on that.
Yep.
So, get back to the entertainment. You know, we just got monetized on YouTube. They be going ham too.
Yo,
I'm telling you, man.
Yo, you gotta chill, bro.
I'm telling you, we already got notices. They said, yo, you boys are too controversial out there. Yo, behind the scenes, man. I mean, but we choose. We don't edit and change nothing. There's certain episodes that we had to not let get monetized, but we don't care.
We're giving people truth. We giving people truth. We're giving people our perspective, and we're also giving people reality. People are not looking at reality for what it is. You know, like what I talked about with the. Go ahead. No. Okay,
no. What you saying?
No. I was just gonna say like what I talked about with the Black Lives Matter. Like everybody, you know, you got your stance on something, and that's it. You don't bother to ask questions.
You
know. So that's
but
it.
You know, moving forward, we are going to try to give y'all in increments, because we would like at least some of our videos monetized. But the truth is always coming first. Always coming first.
Truth will set you free.
Yes. And God is our provider, so we gonna do it. Let's go over our last topic. Then we're gonna get into the power key of the week, which is different strategies. Before we get there, I want to hear Ray's personal thoughts, right? So Tyrone Woodley is going to try his hand at boxing with a bout with Jake Paul slated for August 28th. What are your thoughts?
And it's in a boxing ring, right? Because it's not in the octagon.
Yeah, he is stepping in the octagon.
Okay. Because if you would have said octagon, I don't know why Paul would be doing that if he was gonna step in the octagon, but I guess
have to be fixed.
yeah. If a boxing ring, you know, I don't know, man. I've seen UFC fighters get into the boxing ring and not really be able to hold their own.
Yeah,
So I probably would say he got a shot to beat Woodley.
yeah.
I'm not gonna doubt Woodley's skill set though, because and that's only because I'm thinking Woodley of like a UFC fighter. You know, I've seen Woodley fight before, so I don't know. Maybe he could bring some of those same instincts and intangibles into the boxing ring against Paul.
Hopefully.
and be able to knock him out. But I don't know. It's like a I don't know. It's like a 60-40 for me right now.
So is he mostly like a striker or a takedown? Like what is he most famous
from what I've seen him. From what I've seen, striker.
Okay. So at least the
that's what I'm
striking kind
saying.
of gives you a better chance. Yeah.
Like he got the hands, he just can't use his feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He just can't use his feet.
He got
that's why I said
differently. Yeah.
That's why I said if it was an octagon, it would be different. Because a kick to the ribs, bro.
Like, he out.
Kick to the ribs, he's a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so I'm gonna say 60-40. I'll say
60-40, 60 who?
Woodley.
Okay. So 60%.
Well, I give the 40%. I give the 40% to Paul.
Okay. Now I do believe that I don't know. I feel like Paul is worth so much money that the powers that be won't let him lose to him. Like the only way I see Paul losing Jake Paul is if the person is more famous for him. Because I just feel like there's so many things behind the scenes. But legitly, if I felt like everything is going to be 100% legit, then I would lean slightly towards Woodley. But otherwise, I would say it's near 50-50. But I personally want to see Jake Paul fight a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I do think that this is a step in the right direction from everyone else. Like, this is his toughest fight thus far. You know what I'm saying? I'll give it that. Because Woodley's not retired, right?
No.
Yeah, because the last guy was actually retired. So, you know, I gotta follow more on UFC. I'm more like into boxing, but after this, man, I want to see him fight a boxer. I think eventually they're gonna try to get that Mayweather fight because you know, mind you, we filmed this before the Mayweather Logan Paul fight, but I fully expect Mayweather to run through him. So we'll see how that goes.
Yo, Mayweather loses, that's crazy, bro. He better not.
Oh man, then
I'm gonna be like 60, he got a bag.
G. For real, I'm gonna feel like he got a bag. Like I even seen Logan Paul training, and he didn't look trash, but not no professional boxing level. Like even how he was throwing punches, I was like, oh man, yeah. Like it's just like the speed, man. Speed matters, yo. Like I'm telling you, man, speed matters.
Speed with your punches.
Yeah, it just looked like, oh man, like Mayweather gonna be in and out, tapping.
I was telling you about
you know what I'm saying?
The Ryan Garcia fight. Like that punch he gave him to the ribs, it wasn't the most craziest haymaker punch, but it was a nice little speed punch. But it had enough impact to subdue him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the thing about boxing is like they're super accurate about where they punch too. So they you know, it's registered weapons, so they know how, where, and they're putting their body into that. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting all of that. You know,
that's a fact.
All right, so we're gonna give you guys what y'all came here for. We have another power key to success. Power key. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And this one is try different strategies, right? So if at first you don't succeed, try another way. Now, the road to success is not necessarily straight. There are stops and starts, turns and detours. Anyone who says they've got the exact path to success for you is probably lying. As creepy as the saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Now, now there's more than one way to get the meaning of that saying across, right? Now let's make up a newer, more pet-friendly one. There's more than one way to peel a banana. Nah, I don't even like that one.
Yeah, I don't like that one either. That one sounds crazy. They should have added a big pause in quotation marks after that one.
But any way you put it, there's more than one way to do just about everything. All right, so if at first you don't succeed, try another way. That's the phrase we're going with. Try a new strategy. Come at your goal from a new angle at a different time with a different person. There could, in fact, be many effective strategies. I can't say this word. Strategies. All right. Strategies.
There you go.
All right. You just need to find the right one. The only way to find it is to keep changing and keep trying until you find one that works. You know?
Yes, sir.
They say the definition of crazy is if you keep doing the exact same thing, expecting a different result. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a million different ways to get to the bag.
Exactly. Like let's say you want to go viral and do 1 million views. I'll always make this joke with Wraith, but to a certain extent, I think people believe that I'm serious, right? Like let's say if the goal is 1 million views, I'm willing to do 1 million videos. Mind you, we get more than one view a video. But I was like, I'm gonna do 1 million videos. Now eventually something's gonna go viral in between, but either way, we're gonna get it to this way. So there's different things you can do. You know, like we've seen I don't know if we want to refer to that music video, Fifi 4 times traumatized us with.
Nah, man, that is not one way I'm getting to the bag, bro.
No, it's not one. No, it's not one way. But you see, people are doing different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are doing.
I even got another example.
Yeah.
Even with the podcast, right? You always come up with new innovative ideas to get more viewers, whether it's with the the relationship games or the or even how you talked about like setting up different kinds of panels, having different kinds of conversations. You're just implementing different ways to get to the end goal. That's all you're doing. It still has the same foundation, still the same blueprint, but it's something new. You know, it's not just us getting in front of the camera, talking about our topics, talking about our keys. Like, no, now we got panels. You know what I'm saying? Now we're implementing games, just trying your hand at different stuff, seeing which one, seeing which one pops off, seeing which one works, and still doing the other stuff, behind it, Yeah.
And the biggest thing we want to point out with this is we didn't say make a new goal. We said try different strategies. So you can have your goal, but if you said this is your goal and the strategy is not working, but you keep doing it for years and years, that's when you have an issue. So you have to approach it differently.
You got to change it.
Approach it differently from the way that you thinking, maybe involve different people and outside groups and things of that nature. Like even with music, we've been implementing, trying new things, and now we've been getting more streams. You know what I'm saying? We've been getting higher profile artists reaching out to us, higher profile executives reaching out to us, and certain things like that, just from trying different strategies and new things. I think, right?
Yeah, I like how you brought up the music thing, because I think another aspect to that is being able to adapt. Being able to adapt. Like we know what people like to hear. We know the instruments that people like, that the masses like to hear. So we implement those things while still maintaining what we like to do. So we're not like biting off another artist. We're adapting, because you have to be able to adapt. If you know how to adapt, then you can know how to come up with different strategies.
Fact.
Because that's a part of it.
It is. A great example is we have a song right on Kwame Says Hi, Bachata, Catered
Yeah,
Down,
yeah.
Nautica.
Facts.
And it's on a drill beat, but almost it takes a second for you to even realize it's a drill beat because one, we approached it differently than how every other drill artist is doing, right? And two,
Yeah,
the drill
for
sounds
sure.
are different. Like the song is called Bachata.
Yeah.
Like we've been a very
Yeah.
huge fan of the dance, the culture, and the stuff that comes with it. And most people might not know, but Wraith is
Yeah.
half Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? You know, so but
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have all these.
Yeah. Half Puerto Rican.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Shout out my Puerto
So
Ricans.
exactly, you know, so we implement, you
Mhm.
know, things from the culture that we like, we find interesting, that we've always done stuff around. Drill is the new sound, and we put this together. We're like, all right, let's get a drill song that we work on because this is what a lot of people they want to hear a song. This is what a lot of people are doing. So we decided to implement that in our music strategy. Like we're not just drill artists, but we have a lot of amazing drill music. But that's not the only thing that we rap in, you know.
Yeah. Even
But with that, we used it. We had a different strategy, and mind you, we haven't even put it on a major level yet. It's on caterdown.com. It's hitting all platforms soon, but we haven't even put it out there, and we've gotten so much feedback. People going crazy. Like, I mean, it's bananas. We played it at parties. Everybody was going crazy, you know. So the thing is, you try different strategies, but make it you. Don't sell out for a new strategy. Like, hey, everyone is getting punched in the face to go viral. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Do you? You know what I mean? I mean, if you're famous for getting punched in the face.
I think also like another aspect is, you know, we're music artists, right? But our goal is to build generational wealth.
Exactly.
So music is just an aspect of that.
A strategy to get there,
yeah. There's different ways to get there. You know, when you came to me with the podcast idea, you know, this is the time like to do podcasts. It's podcast heavy right now. A lot of people are doing podcasts. The thing with us is like, yeah, we're gonna do a podcast, but we're gonna implement our own ideals and how we talk and what we like to talk about and put it on this podcast and how we feel. You know, it's just we're the stuff, the keys that we are giving y'all, we're implementing ourselves. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, and what you said is real. And this is the thing I talk. You know, I've been in situations where a lot of hip hop artists, especially on the come up, they'll get intimidated with working with me, or you know, mostly what I see is if they have the same amount of followers or a little more, they get even more intimidated sometimes. You know, and. And what I'll be trying to explain to them, and just like you said, our goal is not to be rappers. If you ask me what I am, you're not gonna hear a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling the people that there's nothing wrong if you do want to be a rapper. Like that's your thing. But that's why I tell rappers, if you're a rapper or a music artist, we are not in competition. One, I'm never just gonna make rap music because I make different types of music. But our goal is way bigger than that. And part of it, just like he said, and one of the main things is building generational wealth for our family. We have different avenues. Sometimes I haven't shared all my thoughts on it because, like I said in the beginning, I've seen a lot of people just get offended by visions. So right now, I just started praying and have that conversation with God. Who do you want me to reveal it to? Because people get offended by the vision. You know what I mean? So I just play low key. But to you artists out there, we are not your competition.
I think they get offended. I think they get offended because they see like how much work it will take. I think that's with like I don't think I could do all this. That's just lack of confidence, not thinking that you can accomplish all these things.
For real.
But you can accomplish things.
You can.
You know, life is you can't just limit yourself. Can't just limit yourself to one category. Especially nowadays. You can't just limit yourself to one category. You can't just say I'm an artist and that's it. No, you got to be able to use that platform that you built and push it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Push it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Push it into media, entertainment. Push it into podcasts. You know, be a rapper that you know you could bar up, but you could also talk about topics.
Exactly.
And people look at you like, yo, this kid, you know, this guy's doing too much. He just does too much. Like he does this, that. Like be one of those people. Don't just put yourself in a box because when you put yourself in a box, you make yourself comfortable. And in this lifetime, in order to get better, you have to learn to be uncomfortable. People are so used to being comfortable that they don't want to try another way. You know, this is the way that's working for me right now. This is what I'm going to keep doing. What happens when you hit a wall and this runs out? You got to have something else in the chamber.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, because even from a financial successful point, you want to have multiple streams of income. The top people that are successful financially have multiple streams of income, not just one. Now, from a
and they got their bills on auto pay.
Yo,
they got their bills on auto
pay. And from a spiritual standpoint, you also shouldn't be doing one thing, because spiritually you should be like, well, what does God want me to do, right? So if you want to be successful spiritually, because they can be different, you know what I mean? That's what I think it's important to touch on. Is you got to be used by God, which is not just doing what you feel like doing. You know what I mean? There might be different things that you didn't know you could do. Like, you know, like on the year anniversary episode, like even Wraith was saying, and to a certain extent, I felt that way too. Like, I didn't know we could do podcasting, but now we have literally changed people's lives. We've changed people's lives in 1 year of going, and we're still going. And people are getting out of depression for it. They're starting their own businesses for it. They're just inspired in general, whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then they're learning the truth. So you never know how you can be used by God. So there's spiritual success, and of course there's worldly, you know?
Yeah, I think another point, I'm gonna just add on to what you're saying, but I think another reason why usually the successful people try the different strategies, because if they think it's not gonna work out, they're gonna jump in and try it anyway. The people that just say, you know what, because like even with the podcast thing, like we was like, yo, like we've never done this before, but we gonna give it a shot. You gotta get to that point mentally first. If you get to that point, you'll be able to have your hand in everything. I've never tried music before. Let me see what happens if I try it. I've never done podcasting before. Let me see what happens. I've never done videography or whatever. You know, you got to be able to tell yourself, you know, I've never done this before. I'm gonna take it easy on myself. I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens.
Exactly.
You can't get into a mode. You can't get into a mode where it's like, oh, God didn't have that plan for me, so I'm not gonna do that. I don't feel like I'm good at this, so I'm not. Like you can't do that to yourself. You're limiting yourself. Mentally, you're limiting yourself. And if you once you limit yourself mentally, it's gonna transfer into physical form, and then you just not gonna be doing nothing. And then you just gonna be a useless ass person.
No, that's facts. That's facts. You know, and don't make excuses about not starting. Like, and this goes back to the power keys. Like, all these power keys build on each other, man. I'm even, by the time this episode drops, even though all the power keys aren't done, I'm gonna start more coming for in the weeks. I'm gonna put them all in the playlist, right? So even there's a Love1st podcast playlist, but I'm gonna have a Power Keys to Success playlist, just so y'all can easily find these older episodes and build upon them. You know, if you're just coming in now, you need to go back to the first power key. And one of the power keys we said earlier was don't make excuses about starting. Start now. In the same coin though, you know, because like I said, you can jump on Zoom, right? So you don't have to you got a phone, you got a computer, you could jump on Zoom, have a podcast. But also when you go in, don't let the equipment and this and that stop you, but discipline. You need to understand you're gonna have to have discipline with it, right? Because it's not an easy thing where you just randomly come up and talk about anything. That's not what makes a successful podcast. Trust us. Do some research on something, understand what your brand is and the message that you want to convey, and then work with people that are like-minded, that have the same discipline too, because you're going to go through things, but you need to be able to bounce back and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that's just an easy walk in the park, but stop making excuses for not starting. Start. Even if this round fails, maybe you'll learn something better for the next time or the next opportunity. But you're never gonna learn if you don't go out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that once you start making excuses for yourself, like I said before, you start to limit your potential and what you're capable of. And like we've talked about countless times, in this lifetime, you want to make yourself useful. Because when you make yourself useful, people, especially like with labels, when they see what you're bringing to the table on your lonesome, You know what I'm saying? Or with the team that you have, the fact that you was able to create your own team without a label, you was able to do all these things without a label, that you're like, damn, like, yo, we can't even baby this guy. We can't even give this guy a man. This guy already got a man. He already got all these people. Like, they have to come to you. You want people to come to you, but in order for people to come to you, you have to make yourself useful. You have to start telling yourself, how can I help people? How can I help the masses? And once people start getting accustomed to that mentality, they'll start to see different results.
Yes. Yep. You know? You know, so no matter whatever field you're in, you can implement different strategies to get there. If you're in the field of selling something, I mean, most businesses, you're selling some type of thing. Cross-sell products. Like work with other brands. Come out with an innovative product or service. You know what I'm saying? Grow sales from new products, increase your customer service. Like, it's so many things you can do. Pricing strategies. That's why a lot of new companies, they're like for Disney, what they was giving away, it felt like 6 months of free Disney Plus at the beginning, you know, just to get in there, because they kind of came out late. You know, they had a good brand that people knew. And mind you, if the top brand is doing this, imagine what you can do. But to get people in, they came with an effective pricing. And now, not only if they're competing, they're one of the top streaming apps out there, if not the top. You know what I'm saying? And they came in the game that's like, all right, let's, instead of just depending on our brand, let's try a different strategy. Boom, we have the streaming platform. Okay, to compete, and to compete with the streaming platform.
No, because I like what you're talking about.
Yeah, and to compete, you know what I mean? When they came with the different strategy to have the streaming app, now they're like, all right, to compete, let's do this with our pricing strategy to lure people in. Now we have them subscribe, we're in. You know what I mean? Different strategies. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was just gonna touch on the subscription thing. Like, Xbox has something similar to that. Like, it's called the Xbox Game. It's called the Xbox Game Pass, where you have access to hundreds of AAA games, like games that cost $60, $70. You have access to hundreds of games for free. And when you when you sign up for the Game Pass, the first month is free. All those games. Because you know how I am. When I get a console, I like to buy games. But when I bought my Xbox, I didn't have to buy no games. I had that whole library to myself for free. So it's just Xbox, like with the Game Pass, that was great. That was a great strategy to lure millions of people in. To lure millions of people into their subscription service. You telling me the first month is free and I can play all these games? Of course I'm gonna get this.
Facts.
like, bro, like, that's a
different strategy.
Blueprint, bro.
It's a dope blueprint, and mind you, these are brands that have been around a long time, and even they're implementing new strategies and different strategies so they can stay relevant. They're like, yo, I'm losing a little bit of relevancy here. Let's try this. You know what I'm saying? And now
they're adapting. The main thing is they are adapting. They are adapting. They are adapting to how people use TV, streaming, whatever. They are adapting to that, and they are catering to they are catering.
Yes, adapt, man.
I super useful.
That is super key. Like, for a while, I've had the same goal, and I always say I never switched from plan A, but I've always adapted my strategy. So my strategies may have changed, and this and that, but my plan A has never changed. I never had to go to plan B. I just adapted different strategies to make sure we could hit plan A. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so we encourage you guys to, you know, definitely look up different strategies. If y'all need advice, man, feel free to reach out. Y'all have questions, let us know in the comment section. You know what I mean? Y'all don't just have to be in the DM. Yes, be in the comment section so we can talk to you.
To me now, because when I get these big bucks, yo, you gotta have to pay to talk to me. Thanks.
For real, get him while it's free. Get him while it's free. That's facts. You know, and mostly because our schedule won't even. You know what I mean? Yo, I'm telling you, our schedule. You better get us when the schedule's a little open right now. Whatever y'all have questions on in the comment section, let us know. We are here for y'all. But like he said, we're blowing up more and more every day. Time is getting crazy. We might only be able to give you the keys through the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So right now, you can reach out to us directly. Wraith, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wraith. This my username for all my platforms. Because I know Kaden talked about me keeping it the same. So for all my platforms except for YouTube, YouTube is still Godly Wraith. But for Instagram and Twitter, it's Wraith_Cooper.
Yes. Wraith_Cooper. Make sure y'all follow him. And also his YouTube channel, man. He got bonus content for y'all. We appreciate y'all subscribing to the K to Don channel. Subscribe to the Godly Wraith channel too, man. He got some life-changing stuff for y'all.
I got reaction videos too.
Some advice too.
I'm coming back with the reactions.
Coming back with the reaction. We still got some unreleased. You're gonna get us yelled at too. We still got some unreleased reaction videos. It's coming soon. We've been talking about it. Make sure you follow me at the Real K to Don too on all platforms. The biggest thing, make sure you follow that Love1st page on Facebook, man. Love1st Entertainment presents Love1st Entertainment presents Love1st TV. So you can either type Love1st Entertainment or Love1st TV. It will pop up. It's daily news stories every single day. Shout out
daily news.
Killing it out there, man.
He
just keeps updating, man. We appreciate you.
I added him on Facebook. I added him on Facebook. That man be going crazy, bro, with the news, bro. He be moving at a different level. Like
I'll be learning stuff. I'll be going to them. I'm like, yo, how you get the news faster than like CNN and Fox News and everybody? Yo, he get it fast.
Moving at a different pace, bro.
I'm telling you, and that work ethic, how he's just on it, man. We just really gotta thank you. Everyone else behind the scenes, man, that's been, with the website to the podcast, man. We definitely appreciate y'all. A lot of good things coming on the way. Make sure you go to caterdon.com where you can hear Kwame Says Hi. That's the original music. Now the freestyles, which has been dropping, just remixing beats. So it's a playlist for the freestyles, which is not the original beats, but it's original lyrics, original flows. But Kwame Says Hi is the original music. It's coming to all platforms. Then pretty soon, this summer, we're going to let you know how to pre-save the K to Don and Wraith project together. See you win. That is gonna be, man, phenomenal, crazy. The sounds are crazy.
I just want to see you win.
Yeah. If y'all want a taste of what our project is gonna sound like together, y'all need to listen to Purpose, which is out. That's one of the freestyles we did. And we did another freestyle. What was
See You Win. The See You Win song is actually on SoundCloud too.
Okay, so See You Win is actually on SoundCloud. So you can actually hear that. That's the song. So that's not even like freestyle stuff. That's original music, original beat.
It got like 20,000+ plays.
Yo, it's going crazy.
We legit out here. This is something that we take serious. Like we don't play no games. When it comes to this music stuff. We put money behind it. You feel me?
We really do.
If you putting money behind something, you taking that serious because you want to see it go somewhere. So like,
we put in money and time, like enough that it's like, yo, we can't give up now. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell everyone, man, invest in yourself, man. A lot of people want to work with me, and my thing is like, I don't get too bougie with the prices for a verse and stuff like that. But my thing is, I'm not releasing music with you if you don't invest in yourself. Like you have to be able to market the music. Like when you move on a professional level, like we invest so much in our careers and everything that we can't. It would be taking too many steps back to just be releasing songs with people that don't invest in their careers.
You got to be able to plan ahead. Before me and you even talk about dropping a project, we talk about how much money we about to put into this project.
Exactly.
And where's the money and where the money is gonna go. How it's gonna get pushed. Exactly. That's you gotta have a marketing strategy, marketing campaign, all that stuff. Your music is not just, it only happens once in a while where somebody drops a song and it blows up like crazy. That rarely happens. You have to push, you have to push your stuff if you wanted to see it go somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, if you want to take that 1% chance that you blow it without any type of marketing invested yourself, out of the 99%, I don't like those odds. I don't like those odds. So
I don't like those odds either.
you have to invest in yourself. I mean, and there are two major reasons why too, because one, no one else from a person to business is gonna invest in someone that hasn't invested in themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, now when you invest in yourself, it's a certain standard. So now any company that talks to us, any person, any business, we have a certain standard expectation. Secondly, if you're looking for a label, a label and you've never really invested in yourself and you don't know what to do with the money, they're doing all types of crazy things with your budget that you don't understand. We're in a position that's like, look, we know what works. Give the budget to us. We don't need you. Now we're how the coffee budget in the marketing. You buying yourself coffee, they buy themselves cars in your marketing budget. You know what I'm saying?
They done spent like $300 at Starbucks. You looking at it like, yo, my man, who getting all this Starbucks?
Back. They taking their families out with your marketing budget because you didn't know how to invest in yourself and you didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, make sure you do that and, you know, work with like-minded people. It all takes a team. You know what I'm saying? If you do music, you should be building a team. If you can't get a team together, how are you going to get a bunch of fans? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think, like, if your music is that dope, people believe in you, you have to get a team together. You might not realize you have a team and you just got to organize them. But if you have fans, I would say start with them. See if you can get some fans helping support it in different ways. It can start by just sharing and liking it. You know what I'm saying? Certain investments, all those natures. Speaking of investments,
we talked about different ways. There's different ways to get the music out there too.
Yes. Different ways. We're gonna have some music talk with y'all. That's actually gonna lead us into an upcoming episode. We have actually this is gonna be an international episode, right? We have someone from Germany that has done promotion. A lot of good things, has worked with a lot of major people. So we're gonna actually dive in a little more into how to promote your music specifically. How to reach, how to talk to blogs, how to all different types of things that you need for your music. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And the stuff that you can do now. So we have that coming for you soon. So make sure you're tuning in, man. We got these keys for success for y'all. We just want to see you win.
Right, y'all. Want to see you win, man.
Facts. Is there anything we're forgetting before we close out? Well, make sure you invest in the Cash App. We want to see y'all support. You know what I mean? Support now, while we can also recognize exactly who's supporting, and we could personally thank you and appreciate. You know
I just want a small donation.
Small donation.
100,000.
You said $100 or 100,000?
100,000.
Yo, support. For real. Want 100,000? If you don't got it, then do it in your pocket. But if you have 100,000, there's no reason you shouldn't be sending 100,000 to us. All right. We're doing beautiful things out here. We know what to do with it, and we're gonna keep doing beautiful things. All right.
Thanks.
Why hate when you can love first? It's the Love1st podcast. Here.
What up, everyone? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell for the latest podcasts, music videos, and comedy skits. We got a lot more content coming your way.
We here all day, baby.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel, baby.
Yeah.